They don't disrespect you randomly. They test you first. A comment, a tone shift, a subtle boundary push. And they watch. Not emotionally, carefully, calculating what they can influence, what they can move, what they can control. Because control determines position. And the moment they realize they can't control you, something shifts. The testing slows, the energy changes, and respect begins. Not because you dominated them, not because you intimidated them, because you became immovable. And immovable things command a different response. Not pursuit, not pressure, respect. Stay until the end. Because I'll show you why people instinctively test what appears controllable. And the exact internal shift that makes you socially untouchable. Here's what most people don't understand. Respect isn't given for kindness, or competence, or even achievement. Respect is given for uncontrollability, for emotional independence, for the inability to be moved, manipulated, leveraged. And the moment someone realizes they can't affect your internal state, they recalibrate. Not consciously, not verbally, automatically. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Most people demonstrate the opposite. They show publicly that outside events control their internal state. A comment shifts their mood. A tone alters their confidence. A look disturbs their peace. And every visible shift broadcasts something dangerous. Controllability. And controllability invites testing, always. Because once someone sees they can move you, they will. Here's the truth. Humans are wired to seek leverage, not out of cruelty, out of survival. We test boundaries to understand structure, to map hierarchy, to determine who we can influence and who we cannot. And the people we cannot influence, those are the ones we respect. Not because they're likable, not because they're loud, because they're immovable, unshakable, sovereign. And immovability signals strength. Strength commands deference, automatically. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." When you are master of yourself, external forces cannot move you, and what cannot be moved cannot be controlled. And what cannot be controlled gets respected, not through force, through structural reality. Because attempting to control what won't be controlled costs energy, and humans conserve energy. They stop pushing where resistance is absolute, like water hitting stone. Eventually, it flows elsewhere. Here's what happens when you're controllable. Stage 1, they test. A comment, a boundary push, a small provocation. And they watch your response, not your words, your state. If you react, you've answered. I can be moved. And that answer invites more testing, not because they want to hurt you, because they're mapping where your limits are, and movable limits get pushed. Stage 2, the testing intensifies, because your reaction proved you're within their influence range. So they push further, test harder, probe deeper, not maliciously, systematically. Because humans optimize for control, and optimization means finding the edges of influence. Your edges. And every time you react, you reveal another edge, another pressure point, another way in, another lever. Stage 3, respect erodes. Not dramatically, gradually, quietly. Because people don't respect what they can manipulate. They use it. And use doesn't require respect. It requires access. And you've been providing access through every reaction, every accommodation, every emotional adjustment. Each one a signal. You can move this. And what can be moved loses value. Not inherently, socially. Let me show you what controllability looks like. Someone says something provocative. You react, explain, defend, adjust, over-clarify. Each response is a data point, and data points map vulnerabilities. The more you respond, the clearer the map becomes, and clear maps enable precise control. You've just given them the instruction manual for moving you. And once someone has the manual, they don't guess anymore. They operate. Here's the shift. Same provocation. You pause. You observe. You continue unmoved. No visible reaction. No defensive explanation. No adjustment in tone. And in that absence of movement, they hit resistance. Not aggressive resistance. Not ego resistance. Structural resistance. Like pushing against stone. The stone doesn't argue, doesn't defend, doesn't react. It just doesn't move. And that immobility ends the testing. Because testing seeks information. Can I move this? When the answer is consistently no, testing stops being useful. It becomes inefficient. And humans abandon what doesn't produce results. Not out of respect initially, out of efficiency. But efficiency toward the immovable looks like respect. And over time, becomes it. If this is resonating, subscribe. Because this isn't motivational content. This is behavioral architecture. And once you understand architecture, you stop managing reactions and start building structure. Structure doesn't fluctuate, and that shift is permanent. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." When people test you, they're giving you the opportunity to demonstrate immovability. Every test is data. Every reaction, reputation, every pause, positioning. Repetition of that demonstration builds identity, not through declarations, through consistency. Consistent immovability becomes unshakable presence, and presence determines treatment. Here's what people miss. They think being uncontrollable means being difficult. It doesn't. It means being self-governed. You can be kind and uncontrollable. You can be generous and unmovable. You can be warm and still refuse to be leveraged. The combination of warmth and immobility is the most powerful social position you can occupy. Because it signals, I care, but I can't be controlled. And that combination commands respect that force never could. Here's the rule. The less they can move you, the more they respect you. Not because you're cold, because you're stable. And stability in an unstable world becomes magnetic. People don't respect chaos. They respect order. And internal order that cannot be disturbed by external disorder. That's rare. And rare things hold value. Always. I used to be controllable. Completely. A single sentence could ruin my entire day. One raised eyebrow could shift my direction. Disapproval could change my decisions. And people felt that. Not through what I said, through what I adjusted. Every adjustment taught them the same thing. He can be moved. And movable people don't get respected. They get managed. One day I stopped. Someone said something designed to provoke. I felt the familiar pull, the urge to defend, to explain, to win. But I didn't. I paused, let the silence sit, and continued what I was doing, unmoved, not cold, not angry, unaffected. The shift wasn't immediate, but it was cumulative. Over the next interactions, the testing decreased. The provocation slowed. Not because I argued better, because I became structurally uncontrollable. And uncontrollable people don't get tested. They get respected. Not through dominance, through sovereignty. Here's what the Stoics knew. Your controllability determines your social position. When others can move you, you're positioned below. When they cannot, you rise. Not through aggression, through internal authority. Authority isn't claimed, it's demonstrated through consistent refusal to be moved by what is irrelevant. Epictetus said, "If you wish to be free, desire nothing that depends on others." If your emotional state depends on their words, that's dependency. If your peace requires their approval, that's leverage. And leverage creates hierarchy. Remove the leverage, and hierarchy inverts. Through independence. Here's the shift. Stop being moved by what others say. Start being moved only by what you decide matters. Stop adjusting for comfort. Start holding position under pressure. Don't prove you're unmovable. Be unmovable. Because immovability doesn't announce itself. It just is. And being is stronger than performing. Final truth, people respect what they can't control. Because inability to control signals strength. Real strength cannot be faked, performed, or negotiated. It's built through discipline, through consistency, through remaining unmoved by what should not move you. When you become uncontrollable, people feel it, not through your words, through what doesn't affect you, the comment that doesn't land, the provocation that gets no reaction, the pressure that produces no shift. Each non-response builds reputation, and reputation determines treatment. You want respect? Become uncontrollable, not loud, not aggressive, not defensive, just immovable. Unmoved by opinions, unmoved by provocations. Because people respect what they can't control, not what submits, not what performs strength, but what actually is strong enough to remain still under pressure. That strength is respect. And once you embody it, you never have to demand it. It becomes automatic.